I was not going to make this public, and it's not because it's dangerous in the cartoon way that people imagine. It's because once you see this, you will stop experiencing the world the same way. This thing that we're going to talk about right here is the system that I use to spot psychological operations before they fully land. I've used this tool privately for years with some powerful organizations in research and consulting. And these are rooms where outcomes matter big time. What's happened recently is the environment has totally changed. The speed of everything has changed. The scale of these operations has changed. And the cost of being late to psyops has got a lot higher. I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm going to show you what to watch. Without any conspiracy obsession, it's just being literate in today's world. And once you have that, you're going to stop being surprised by the things that are very structurally obvious here. So if you stay to the end of this video, you're going to have a working framework that lets you look at news and crises and emergencies a lot differently. So let's walk through this system to predict engineered reality. The system is simple. Where's the pressure coming from? Is it being seeded from something? How likely is influence? What phase is it in? And how are people being nudged? So first, you don't predict events. You predict pressure. Events are just how pressure resolves itself. So if you're focused on dates and timelines and headlines, you're always going to be late. If you're focused on where pressure is accumulating, you're going to be early by default. So phase one of this tool is where the hell is the pressure coming from? And this is called the Sorum tool. First is the S in Sorum. This is societal. This is when we see a moral panic, an us versus them language obsession, maybe a sudden obsession with who is safe or dangerous or misinformed. That is pressure building. So the next one is operational. This is when you see drills being played out and simulations of things being mapped out way before an event actually happens, or maybe there's some military or cyber or infrastructure exercises that are taking place. I don't think they're proof of anything on their own, but they tell you that the chessboard is being set up. So next is regulatory. Whenever regulation appears before a crisis peaks, you're not looking at some reaction. That is absolute preparation there. And next we have alignment. This is the A in Sorum. When government, media, tech platforms, academia, and NGOs suddenly agree fast, you're not seeing consensus between all these things. You're seeing coordination. And then we have the M in Sorum, the media. Same phrases, same metaphors, the same emotional tone across platforms. So when language suddenly becomes really uniform, you are witnessing pressure being shaped. So that 5-part scan is called Sorum. So if multiple domains here light up at the same time, you're not watching some coincidence happen. Then you move to phase 2. Is it being seeded? So what we're doing here is called the Prism model, Prism, P, which stands for precursor anomalies. These are weird simulations, tabletop exercises that you might see some government organization do, or maybe a scientific or medical study that feels oddly timed. These are usually rehearsals, and they create familiarity before the fear ever arrives. And then we have the R, and this stands for repetition cycles. When some phrases show up everywhere, disinformation, safety, protect democracy. We see these little slogans start showing up all over the place. Repetition builds acceptance in the human brain, and we know this. Then we have the I in Prism, and this is introduced villains. Who is the problem? Maybe it's a group or a profession or a belief system or a nationality. Villains simplify super complex systems into something that is emotionally manageable for us. And then we have the S in Prism. This is symbolism injection. The colors, the hashtag, the badges. It's like the branding was designed months in advance before an event happened. Symbols bypass thinking and go straight to identity. And then we get into the M of Prism. And this is manufactured urgency. There's no on-ramp, there's no debate window. It's just we have to act right now. Urgency shuts down analysis in the human brain without ever saying, don't think. So the Prism tool serves as a warning light. So if I have 3 or more that are like above a 7.5 out of 10, that's a big deal. So now we move into phase 3. How likely is a psyop? Phase 3 has 2 sections, and this is NARCS and then PPI, the psyops probability index. What we're really looking at is probability. So we're going to score 5 variables, and this is the NARCS system. This is the next step. So the N is narrative volatility. So how extreme is the language? How emotionally charged is the language? And how mimetic is it? A is authority involvement. Experts, officials, politicians, uniforms, celebrities. The more authority that's involved, the less organic it usually is. And then we have the R in NARCS. And this is a repeat historical analog. So does this look familiar? Is it the same language? Are we following the same structure from something we know worked on human beings in the past? Is there some same emotional arc as a past campaign? History doesn't always repeat, but influence strategies absolutely do. And then we have the C in NARCS, and this is for cognitive load. How exhausted is the public already? Super tired populations are easier to steer. And then we have the S, sentiment inversion. So what you want to ask yourself here are values being flipped, questions becoming harmful, silence becoming violence. Super compliant people become virtuous, or they're shown to be virtuous. That flip is a massive tell. If you average those, then you get a PPI score, a psyops probability index. So a high PPI doesn't mean evil masterminds. It means that conditions are very ripe and intention is very likely. You have to understand what comes next. You need to be able to predict the next phase. It's just prediction. So it's not events, it's just moves. What's the next move that's going to happen? And this spells out the word trap in. This is the trap in analysis tool. The T is for tension. This is fear, uncertainty, models, forecasts made to make you scared. Then you have the letter R, which is rally. Big, weird calls to action that seem different than they were before. Then you'll see A, the letter A, which is authority. Celebrities, politicians, experts, rules, enforcement, and biggest of all in this one is censorship. And the next step that we need to look out for is the P phase, which is polarization. We're sorting people out based on their virtues or their morals. Good people and bad people. There's protests and counter protests. The N, which is normalization. This is where habits form. Mass memory gets rewritten. So that's the trap in tool. And then we move into phase 5. And this is what it does to humans. So none of this works unless it moves people. And it always does. And it follows 2 things. The first thing is the thing that manipulates our animal brains. And this is called the FATE model. FATE stands for focus, authority, tribe, and emotion. And what you're going to see in a psyop is focus narrows, authority increases, tribe hardens, and emotion overrides cognition. And then you watch the internal shifts. And we move to the 6-axis model. The 6-axis model is what controls the very specific human brain influence factors: focus, openness, connection, suggestibility, compliance, and expectancy. Those 6 things. So what happens on the 6-axis model if we're in the middle of a psyop? Focus is going to tighten up like crazy. Openness actually drops. Connection with other people starts eroding. Suggestibility rises through the roof. Compliance increases like crazy, and expectancy, this final one, our expectations, get managed like crazy. And once you see which axis is being pushed, behavior becomes absolutely predictable. Humans default under pressure, and we know human defaults. So pressure might be an end result goal for some country that's working against Western society. When something shows up, I want you to ask, is this solving a problem, or is it teaching people how to adapt? Those are not the same thing. I'll see you in the next one.